When Linda Morrison returned from burying her 23-year-old son in Virginia, she found strangers living in her house. They had changed the locks, moved in furniture, and claimed they had a legal lease. The police said it was a civil matter, but Linda's neighbor, Jack Reaper Sullivan, had just made a single phone call. Within 4 hours, 300 motorcycles would line the streets of suburban Phoenix, and the squatters would learn a lesson about respect and community. The sound hit Jack Sullivan at 2:37 p.m. on a Wednesday, the kind of crying that comes from somewhere deep and broken. He walked to his front yard and saw Linda Morrison sitting on her own porch steps, suitcase beside her, shoulders shaking. He'd just been to her son Tyler's funeral 3 days ago. The kid had been 23, killed by a drunk driver. Jack crossed the street. "Linda, what's wrong?" She looked up, eyes hollowed out from grief. "They won't let me in. Strangers changed my locks. They're living in my house, in Tyler's room. The police said it's a civil matter. Could take months to evict them." "Months?" "I was gone 6 days to bury my son, and these people are sleeping in Tyler's bed. I saw his baseball trophies on the floor. They threw them away like trash." Jack Sullivan was 58, ex-Army, 2 tours in Iraq. Linda had brought him casseroles when his wife died from cancer. She'd been family when he had none left. He pulled out his phone and typed one message to his motorcycle club. "Code Guardian. 2447 Saguaro Ridge Drive. Squatters took a Gold Star mother's house while she buried her son. We ride now. Responses came in seconds. Tommy Wrench Garcia, on my way. Sarah, Phoenix. Chen, calling everyone. Miguel Doc. Rodriguez, Tucson chapter rolling out. 90 minutes. Jack had founded Desert Thunder MC 15 years ago. They were veterans, teachers, firefighters, nurses. They were family. And when one called for help, they came. Marcus and Tanya Holloway were professional squatters. They'd scoured obituaries for Linda's empty house, forged a lease agreement using her dead husband's name, and moved in fast. They'd done this 17 times in 3 years, exploiting tenant protection laws. By the time Linda returned, they had utility bills in their names and a practiced story. The first bikes arrived at 3:15. Just 3 riders parking across the street, arms crossed, engines off. By 3:45, there were 30 motorcycles. By 4:30, over 100. Marcus Holloway noticed around 4 o'clock. He peeked through the curtains and saw leather vests, chrome, and faces that weren't smiling. "Tanya, we might have a problem. The biker kind. We have a lease. They can't do anything." But Marcus's confidence was cracking. At 5:15, a woman in a business suit stepped out of a black Audi. Jennifer J.J. Walsh was a real estate attorney and Desert Thunder member. "Jack, these two have a pattern, 17 houses. They're wanted in New Mexico for fraud. Phoenix PD Fraud Division is sending detectives, but that could take hours. We don't have hours." JJ approached the front door and knocked. Marcus opened it a crack. "My name is Jennifer Walsh, attorney at law. I'm representing Linda Morrison, the legal owner of this property. You need to vacate immediately. We have a rental agreement. You have a forged document. This house has never been listed for rent. You're committing criminal trespass, fraud, and identity theft. Detectives are on their way. You have 2 choices. Leave now voluntarily, or be arrested in front of 300 witnesses with cameras. I'd estimate 15 minutes. At 5:43 p.m., the front door opened. Marcus and Tanya emerged with suitcases. 300 bikers watched in absolute silence. Tommy Wrench stepped forward. "The keys to the house, on the porch. Now." Marcus set them down with shaking hands. Sarah Phoenix Chen spoke quietly. "You came into a mother's house while she buried her child. You slept in her dead son's bed. Think about what kind of people that makes you." No one moved. No one revved engines. The judgment was worse than any violence. Marcus and Tanya drove away at 5:51 p.m. They would later be arrested in Albuquerque. Jack picked up the keys and brought Linda home. 300 bikers formed a path from his house to her front door. Silent, respectful, an honor guard for a grieving mother. Before we continue, I want to share something important. This story, this community, these voices that stand up for what's right. This is what The Last Riders is all about. We're a brand new channel dedicated to stories of real people, real brotherhood, and real justice. If these stories move you, if you believe in standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to The Last Riders and hit that like button. We're just getting started, and your support means everything. Now, let's get back to Linda's story. Over the next hours, Desert Thunder MC went to work. Tommy's locksmith friend changed every lock. Frank Ironside's cleaning company crew came for free. Sarah Phoenix organized volunteers to restore Tyler's room exactly as Linda directed. Miguel Doc found a laptop the squatters left behind. It contained templates for dozens of forged leases, names of other targets, photos of other houses. "This is evidence from multiple fraud cases," JJ said, calling detectives. By 10 p.m., Linda's house was spotless. Tyler's trophies were back on shelves, his photos on walls, his Letterman jacket in the closet where it belonged. Detective Maria Santos spent 2 hours interviewing Linda and reviewing evidence. "Mrs. Morrison, I'm sorry the system failed you initially. What happened today, this community response, this is what happens when people refuse to accept injustice." Jack Sullivan set up his sleeping bag on Linda's couch that night. "I'm not leaving you alone tonight." Linda slept in her own bed for the first time in a week. She'd buried her son and faced violation, but she'd also seen what community could do. 6 months later, Linda Morrison wore a leather vest with an honorary member patch at the Desert Thunder monthly meeting. "You didn't just get my house back," she told the room. "You gave me hope when I had none." Tyler always loved motorcycles. He'd say, "Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to ride with people like that. People who look tough but have good hearts." He never got to do that. But I like to think he saw what happened that day. Tommy Wrench's voice was rough. Tyler was right. We might look tough, but when it comes to protecting our community, we're the softest hearts you'll ever meet. Linda started a nonprofit called Tyler's Shield, dedicated to helping victims of squatter fraud. JJ provided pro bono legal advice. Miguel set up a 24-hour hotline. In 6 months, they'd helped 23 families reclaim their homes. Marcus and Tanya Holloway were sentenced to 5 years each. Their laptop helped convict 3 other squatter rings. On Tyler's birthday, exactly 1 year after his death, Linda organized a memorial ride. 300 motorcycles rode from Phoenix to the accident site in Virginia. At the head of that procession rode Linda Morrison on a Harley Softail, Tyler's photo mounted on the windshield. She'd gotten her motorcycle license 3 months earlier, with Jack teaching her. "My son always wanted to ride with bikers," she'd said. "Now I'm riding for both of us." At Tyler's memorial, surrounded by 300 riders, Linda spoke words that would be shared thousands of times online. "Tyler, you always believed in standing up for what's right. These riders embody everything you believed in. They showed me that when evil tries to kick you when you're down, good people will help you stand back up. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's chosen. Sometimes it's forged in hardship and sealed with loyalty and love." She placed a Desert Thunder patch next to his memorial. "You're riding with us now, son. Always." Before I finish, I want to ask you something. If you believe in communities that stand up for each other, if you believe in justice for the vulnerable, if you believe these stories need to be told, please support The Last Riders by subscribing to this channel and hitting that like button. We're building something special here, a place where real stories of courage and brotherhood can be shared. Your subscription helps us continue telling these stories. Thank you for being part of this journey. Linda Morrison is 56 now. She still works as a school librarian. She still misses Tyler every day. But she's no longer the broken woman locked out of her own life. She's a biker. She's a nonprofit founder. She's proof that the worst moments don't have to define us. They can transform us. On Saturday mornings, when 300 motorcycles rumble through Phoenix streets, Linda Morrison is right there, her silver hair whipping in the wind, Tyler's photo on her windshield, her heart full of purpose. Because squatters took her house while she buried her son. But 300 bikers, 300 hearts who believed in something bigger than themselves, helped her come home. And she's been riding ever since. The desert thunder never stops rolling, because that's what family does. That's what community means. That's what happens when people refuse to let evil win. That's the promise of the last riders. And the promise is always kept.